My favorite teacher was my 7th grade social studies teacher named Richard Nixon. In the first day of class, he put on the blackboard, average equals the best of the lousiest and the lousiest of the best. And from that point on, I was no longer average, and he just motivated me to do my very best. And that's my greatest teacher story ever.
Well, her name was Becky, and I was in junior high, and she was my English teacher, and she talked me into trying out for the school play, and it was something I would have never done, but I ended up doing it, and I had an absolute blast. So she's my favorite teacher.
I went to Cedartown High School in Georgia, and Miss Darden was my English teacher for my 9th and 11th grade. And she was a very difficult teacher, but she pushed us hard to be better. She taught us the morals that we needed to succeed in life, and Miss Darden has really been a cornerstone for the rest of my life in learning and growing as an adult.
My favorite memory of a teacher that really influenced my life is an 8th grade science teacher who let us use the book. And at the time, that was kind of a novel idea to have project-based science assignments and to use the book. And I didn't realize until later he was way ahead of his time, and he really caused us to think. But most importantly, he caused us to ask us to defend our answers. So it was just my favorite class.
Mrs. McMahon, who was my 3rd grade teacher, who pushed me. I think she recognized limits and decided to see how far she could go in helping me to excel in 3rd grade.
I had a lot of favorite teachers, I guess, growing up. One was language arts social studies teacher for 7th grade and 8th grade, Robert Howell, who instilled in me, I guess, a love for English and the language arts, which sort of propelled me to be a writer, journalist, and TV person. His class was a lot of fun. It mixed language arts and English and social studies. And he was very unique because in his room there was not only your formal desk, but he had sofas, ping pong table, air hockey table. So as you were learning about social studies and geography, the world, or studying English, the teams that had the highest grades were the ones who got to play ping pong during the breaks or play air hockey for those 10 or 15 minutes, which was made a lot of fun and a little competitive there too as you were learning. So he was a very unique teacher, but also a very effective teacher for me in instilling language arts and social studies, a love for both of those subjects.
I have 2 distinct memories of my 2 favorite teachers. All of them were wonderful, but 2 have always stood out for me. Barbara Thomas was my 6th grade English language arts teacher, and I learned every bit of grammar that I ever have known in 6th grade. I'm not sure I learned it before or after then, but 6th grade, I've learned it, particularly pronoun usage. Am, are, is, was, were, have, has, had, linking verbs. I'll never forget it. She was an outstanding teacher and helped obviously with those writing skills. And she also taught us about life and always, doing our best. The other teacher is Dale Krieger. He was my high school trigonometry teacher in 11th grade, and then I was actually able to take AB calculus because of him, because he was so good. I was not particularly good in math, but because he was so outstanding, I had him 2 years in a row. It was more like having a college professor. I still to this day send him Christmas cards, as well as Barbara Thomas. He keeps up with, I remember the day his child was born. His child is now an adult, so it's sort of a small world, but he's an example of being able to make someone successful in math just because he was a good teacher, not because of any skills I had. And I actually did well enough on the AP exam to get some college credit, which was completely unbelievable. But both are outstanding individuals, both have great impacts on my life, and I to this day continue to thank them. So those are my 2 memories.
The teacher that impacted my life the most was my 6th grade teacher. She happened also to be my aunt. She was a science biology teacher, and her interest and passion for biology caused me eventually to become a biology major in college and actually to become a teacher for a number of years before I went into business. Her name was Patricia Bathon, and a tremendous impact on me in 6th grade.
I had had a lot of great teachers in Lancaster County where I went to school, but I guess my favorite would be Miss Flanders, my second grade teacher. She just made learning fun, and I knew then that I wanted to be a teacher. So I had lots of good teachers, and I'm just real proud, and I hope when I was teaching that we have people that come back and say I was their favorite teacher too.
Looking back on the teachers that I had in the past, probably the one that made the biggest impression on me was my first business education teacher, which taught me how to keyboard actually. After that, learning how to keyboard and getting an interest in business, it made me pursue a career in business education. So for 10 years I taught business education, and now I'm in marketing.
My favorite teacher of all time was John Stam, and he was my homeroom teacher, my math teacher, and my science teacher for 2 years. So I saw him about 2.5 hours a day or more for 2 years in a row. And John Stam really gave me an appreciation for math and an appreciation for science. Frankly, I was struggling at that point in my education career. We didn't know it, but I had dyslexia. Actually, I still have dyslexia, but through the support and encouragement of John Stam, who not only taught me math and science, but also was very important in teaching character and principles and values that I'm very indebted to him today. I remember at the time thinking, I see much more of Mr. Stam than I see of either of my parents, because after athletics and homework, I actually didn't see my parents much, but I saw Mr. Stam for hours every day, and he had a profound impact on my life.